What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the debut album by BØRNS, which is the stage name of Garrett Borns, a musician from Michigan. This is his debut album titled Dopamine, the follow-up to last year's late EP that came out at the end of the year. I think it was called Candy. I didn't really hear any of the tracks until this past summer. That's when I heard Electric Love and fell kind of head over heels for it. I loved its vintage pop sound, and all over this album, Dopamine, you're going to hear love and infatuation type songs that are just very upbeat often, very insistent, and I love the kind of enthusiasm and just the spark that's lit under a bunch of these tunes. Now, overall, if I had to describe the sound of it, it's like indie pop meets synth pop meets modern alternative, and there's all kinds of twists on these genres, but for the most part, they're very straightforward pop songs that have a very, very unique style in terms of Borns' voice. That's something that immediately stood out to me whenever I first heard Electric Love. I actually thought it was a female voice. I know a lot of you guys, if you've never listened to Borns before, are probably going to think the same thing whenever you click that link down there to check out the album. From the knocking synths of Dug My Heart to the extreme vocal talent that I find showcased on the lead single, The Emotion, and even some of the haze that comes in on tracks like Clouds that are a little bit more down-tempo, and we get to see a different side of him. I have to say that I'm enjoying most facets of the LP. He's on his A game the majority of the time, and I have to say this is one of my favorite debut albums of the year. Even more modern-sounding songs like American Money come through strong just because they don't really do it in a way that's sloppy, like I feel like a lot of artists do. They'll throw on some 808s or some hi-hats and some rumbling bass, and it just doesn't sound good. He goes for traces of that, but it still comes through with his unique style that I feel like he brings to the table big time on the majority of Dopamine. Really enjoying that track, American Money. Of course, the single that everyone's talking about, Electric Love, because how could you not love that song? It's just so sweep you off your feet, carry you into a different world type song. It's just so cheery, and this whole album just puts me in such a great mood whenever I'm listening to it. I love smiling and tapping my foot along and singing already. One that really stole my heart though, 10,000 Emerald Pools. The vocal melodies on this track are out of this world. They just sound absolutely gorgeous, and I don't say that about too many songs. There aren't too many things that just blow me away, and it's such a build-up. The track is a little bit more laid back. It's built off of a skeletal guitar, and then he's just kind of calmly and soothingly singing over this tune before really reaching and hitting these notes with his voice, and you're just like, yes! You want to cheer him on, because this is the kind of music that I would love to see more pop artists make. They're actually pushing the envelope forward. I love the affectation that he's putting on songs like this. It's much more soulful than the persona he presents on a handful of the tracks, and I like when he breaks it out on not only 10,000, but of course on the track The Fool, which is the final track on this LP, and then right in the middle of this thing with Holy Ghost, which has one of the best hooks on the album, one of the best pop hooks of the year, probably. Baby, you're my Holy Ghost. It's like he's taking this 60s and 70s nostalgia and then twisting it in with all of these other influences, and it just comes together sounding like a romp of a tune that you're not going to want to take off repeat. Holy Ghost, even if you don't check out the rest of the LP, that's definitely one that I give high praise to and recommend you check out. I'm coming around on Past Lives as well. The song is a little bit darker in nature, and I wasn't a huge fan of that at first, but I'm starting to like the change of pace that it offers us. It's just the vocals on this track that I'm not a huge fan of. It seems like they're chopped up a bit, maybe a little bit altered here and there, and I'm not huge on that. It just seems a little bit more basic in terms of its structure as well, but I do like parts of the synth line. It makes the track a little bit darker, like I was talking about. It adds a little bit of an edge in there, and also in terms of songs that actually had to grow on me a little bit, I'm feeling the same way about Overnight Sensation. This track just feels limited. It doesn't really push any buttons. It's okay. It's not a bad song by any means. It's just the fact that some of these songs stand out to me so much more, and tracks like that just feel a little bit out of place. The title track Dopamine is probably my least favorite song on this LP. It just sounds like Borns is doing a weak Passion Pit impersonation, and I know that's what some people are going to say about this album in general, and really, I don't hear that most of the time. I really don't, because he adds a creative and unique flair to a lot of these tracks, the majority of these songs even, but on Dopamine it just seems like he threw all of the cliches into one song. Just kind of a weak bass line and a lackluster or instrumental in general. The vocals don't really do anything for me. Wanna get no stream of dopamine. I don't know. It doesn't stick with me. It doesn't hit me and grip me like a lot of these tunes do. Overall though, I have to say that I'm liking the tone of this record. He just has a lot of enthusiasm. He's very eager to please this lover in his life. It seems like he's just infatuated with someone, like I already mentioned at the beginning of this review, and I like how that comes out. It plays out in a kind of sweet way a lot of the time. Sweet like candy, like he says on Electric Love. Overall, I've already picked up a CD for myself, so clearly I'm enjoying this record. Very impressed with this debut. Overall, I'm feeling a 4 for Dopamine. Whew, the lights in here really make you sweat. Thanks for watching and hitting the like button on my BØRNS review. If you've heard the album, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to see me tackle other albums with a review, maybe either in video or text form, let me know with a comment and thumbs up some of the ones that you see that I haven't gotten to yet. Thanks for watching and subscribing to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. And I'll see you guys very soon right here on ARTV.